Thanks so much for joining us, listeners. My name is Elaine Howard Ecklund, and I am the author of Why Science and Faith Need Each Other, 8 Shared Values That Move Us Beyond Fear with Brazos Press. I just have such a deep pleasure of being joined today by Dr. Claudia May, who is Professor of Reconciliation Studies at Bethel University, where she also directs Bethel's Reconciliation Studies program. Dr. May, thanks for being with us. And I understand that you have some questions about the virtue of gratitude.
I certainly do, Elaine, and thanks for talking to me today. Your book, Why Science and Faith Need Each Other, 8 Shared Values That Move Us Beyond Fear, is an important and timely book, and it is a privilege to interview you. So with that, Elaine, can you help us to understand how is gratitude a shared value between science and faith?
I would say that it wasn't hard for me to understand how gratitude is a value of faith in my own faith community. If I may put it so bluntly, I think I first kind of cut my teeth on gratitude in my own faith community, where early on, and even more so lately as I've become an adult and beyond into middle age, I've learned that any success I have is really a gift from God and God working through other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember interviewing a scientist who is a Christian who told me that he sometimes doesn't know where next to go in his experiment. And then he's just given a moment of insight. It's not the science itself which really tells him where to go, but he sees the next step often as a kind of gift from God. And that kind of set me on a path of trying to figure out where science and faith really connect through this virtue of gratitude.
You know, given the breadth of your scholarship and considering the depth of your research interests, I'm sure you will agree that science and Christian communities are not a monolithic entity or a homogenous group. Still, given their broad diversity and multi-layered facets, in what ways can we foster a spirit of gratitude between any given scientific community and Christian community?
I think about virtues as sometimes manifest in practices orienting us toward the good or toward God. And I do think that there are ways any Christian community can grow more deeply in its notion of gratitude. So sadly, I think there are many in Christian communities that come upon science with a spirit of fear or anger or resentment sometimes because they're afraid that science will steal pieces of faith. Some communities, as I think your own work has pointed out so well, have been historically and presently discriminated against at the hands of science. And so there is the sense where fear is sometimes founded.
Yes.
And so to have this spirit of gratitude, I see as a really washing out the fear and calling out the good that is in our faith and that is in science as well. And really trying to push away the pieces of science that have not been good, as well as the pieces of science that, if amplified, could help us understand the natural world and the biological world even much more deeply. And I think any Christian community can move forward in having more gratitude towards science, while at the same time standing against the pieces of science that are not right and not good. And science, of course, sometimes science cultivates a kind of hubris, right? That science for the scientist is sometimes about knowing my own name better and amplifying my own work and can lead to intense self-focused. But the best scientists, or I should say the deepest scientists, I think have a deep understanding is done in community, and that they need to be grateful for the scientific work that's gone before them, that's led them to their current place. And for Christians in science, of course, a deep understanding that their talents are given to them by God. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with me today, for your affirmation of this work. Really appreciate you and who you are as well. Thank you so much.